you how's it going? Well, you know, I've been noticing what's going on in the last couple of weeks. It seems like everybody in the world is pretty much kind of SimCity crazy. And I'm talking about the new version of SimCity that EA released recently. I mean, for the last 2-3 weeks ahead of time, I have seen people talking about how, well, I've done a pre-order, I've pre-ordered this, I got this, you know, I can't wait to get it, and all this stuff. People just, the anticipation has been built up so big. People have been looking forward to this thing so incredibly big time. I know there are, I know of several people who have been planning to do Let's Plays, multiplayer Let's Plays with this new SimCity. And it's really been an incredibly big build-up. EA had gotten a really huge build-up on this thing. People are just going crazy over it. And then it was released. Then it was finally released, and at first everything seemed to be okay. And then it started going down the toilet. And at this point, I would say that the new version of SimCity is very rapidly swirling in circles on its way down the very last part of the entrance into the sewage pipe out the back of the toilet. And I say this because EA has killed it. They took a really great game by Maxis and they've murdered it. And the way they've murdered it is that they've tied it to Origin. The thing here is that with the new SimCity, you can't even play single player if you're not connected to one of their Origin servers. Sorry folks, that's crap. You know, that's taking DRM entirely, way, hideously too far. And so, my personal prediction for SimCity is that this new version of SimCity, as good as it may be, I mean, I've seen people doing videos of it, I've seen some live streams of it, and it looks really slick. It looks really great. I love the look of it. I love all the added stuff that's been added into it. But this constant mandatory dependence on servers, of which EA doesn't seem to be willing to put enough of up, then that's going to kill the game right there. That dependence on the servers is going to completely kill it. Because when people finally realize, when enough people realize that, hey, I can't even play this in single player mode when I'm offline, well, enough of that noise. And so on. So I think that once the initial flash is over with, this new version of SimCity is going to go the way of the dinosaur really quick. And then perhaps it might even be that some enterprising and genius young programmer of some kind or another is going to look at SimCity, the new version, and say, hey, I just figured out a way to turn that server thing off so that people can at least play single player or something. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me a bit if somebody were to do that. In the meantime, all this talk about SimCity has got me back to wanting to play SimCity again. I remember playing, well, they call it SimCity Classic now, but back then it was just SimCity. The old original version of SimCity that ran in DOS. And then later there was a Windows version that came out, and that was all fine and dandy. It was great. It started the craze. It's where this whole SimCity thing got started. It was fantastic. And some years later, I got SimCity 2000 Network Edition. This is the original CD that came in a box. Back when you bought a game, it actually came in a box. It was cool because there was a CD, there was a manual, There was, if the game needed maps, there was maps and stuff with it and so on. It was all right there. You got a box. You got an actual physical box. You went to a store and you bought the thing in a physical box. What a concept. You think maybe they ought to try that? I think they ought to try that. That sounds like a great idea. Fantastic way to distribute software. Imagine actually having a physical copy of something you bought instead of just having to hope that it doesn't evaporate off of a hard drive or get lost in a hard drive crash. That doesn't happen, does it? Oh, yes, it did. It happened to me recently. Isn't that wonderful? Anyway, so I got out SimCity 2000 Network Edition. I popped the CD into my drive over there and cranked it up. And it took, Windows 7 took one look at it and said, no, you ain't not running this program. Because the setup thing started to run, saw the very first beginnings of the Install Shield installer starting to do its thing, or at least the little bitty square or rectangular splash box that comes up when Install Shield starts, and then it just froze and stopped, and I had to kill it. I took the same thing over to my laptop, and it didn't fare much better on Windows XP. So I did a little bit of looking around. Apparently this version of SimCity was created back in 1996. And this is when everybody in the world was using Windows 95, and Windows 98 was just beginning to appear. And so what we have here is an excellent program, a fantastic game. I've played it for years because for a long time we had Windows 98 machines here, and Windows 98 machines can run Windows 95 stuff with no problem. And I mean, I've done the thing where you go to the executable and you right click on it and you hit compatibility mode and you say run this in compatibility mode for Windows 95 or Windows XP or Windows 98 or whatever. I did that. Didn't work. It was crap. And so on. And so now what I'm going to end up having to do, I'm going to end up having to install VirtualBox, set up a virtual machine, and install Windows 98 on that virtual machine so that I can run this very old program that is still extremely cool. That's another load of crap. And despite the fact that I'll probably play it for 2 or 3 weeks with it and then go on to something else, I'm probably going to do that. Because at least then after it's put in, it'll still be there in the future. Maybe I should make a disk image or something, or burn it on DVD or whatever of the actual virtual machine image with the thing installed to make it easier in the future. Anyway, this has been something of a rant, but that's okay, because it's been something of a fun rant. In the meantime, take it easy. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here. If you like the video, take 1 second to hit thumbs up. Thanks a lot.